Hey everyone, your like is important to motivate us to create new stories and bring you news about the new Dragon Ball movies and series in 2026. An announcement is coming soon, stay tuned. That said, let's get to the video. Universe 7, Beerus's planet. It's true, now that I remember, Zen-chan had promised to make a martial arts tournament with all the universes. What happened to that, Mr. Beerus? It's been a long time and I would like to fight against fighters from other universes. Goku said, excited. Listen, you're getting into things you don't understand, you hear me? You don't know Zeno. It may seem childish, but I remind you that he's stronger than all of us. You better forget about that tournament. That's best for everyone. Beerus said seriously, forming a great tension in the place. But even so, Goku would manage to deceive Beerus and Whis, pressing the button that Zeno gave him, teleporting to where he is. Grand Priest would receive Goku, giving him a little smile to later tell him, "Oh, you have arrived, Son Goku. Come on, Zeno was waiting for you," Grand Priest said. Goku would be a little confused, but he would proceed to follow Grand Priest, arriving in this way from where the two Zeno were. "Haha, hello Zen-chan, it's me, Goku," he said, greeting them friendly. The Zeno would return the greeting to Saiyans with a lot of emotion. "Goku, Goku, we were waiting for you. We have news for you," Zen-chan said cheerfully. "What news do you have for me? It's about the multiversal tournament?" Goku would ask excitedly. No, we have changed our mind and we will not do the martial arts tournament. We have decided to give you the charge of us," the Zeno said. "What? You will give me the charge of you? What do you mean by that? I'm sorry, but I don't understand," Goku said, confused. "What Zeno means is that from now on, you will be the new king of everything. That is, you will take the place of Zeno. You will rule all the universes from now on," Grand Priest said with a small smile. Goku would hit a loud scream of the great surprise and confusion he would have received due to the words of Grand Priest. After all, at no time would he imagine that they would tell him that news. "Wait, but I don't want to be the king of everything. It will also be a lot of responsibility for me. I'm sorry, Zen-chan, but I don't want to be the new king of everything," Goku said nervously. "I'm sorry, but the decision is already taken. Of course, you can also reject it, you are in all your right, but keep this in mind. If you do not accept to be the new king of everything, Zeno will be in charge of eliminating the Universe 7 completely. Only you would be the only one who would not be eliminated by Zeno," Grand Priest said, with a face full of seriousness, which would put Saiyan's Goku against the sword and the wall. Goku would be more than surprised after the consequences of rejecting the offer, so he would be against the sword and the wall, leaving Saiyans without knowing what to do. Which would put a look at something would be to later look at Grand Priest and Zeno to later say, "If I refuse to be the new king of everything, eliminate my universe with all my friends?" Goku would ask, a question to which Grand Priest would answer affirmatively, which would generate a little frustration in Goku. "I see. In that case, I have no choice but to accept that offer. Well, I will become the new king of everything. I will become the new ruler of all universes," Goku said seriously. Grand Priest would give a smile after the answer of Saiyans to later say, "I thank you very much for accepting the position, Son Goku. It will be of great help to Zeno," Grand Priest said. Well, since Goku accepted, then it's time to go," the Zeno said, raising their hand and then happily closing it, disappearing from said place. "Wait, where were the Zen-chan?" Goku would ask, looking at the place where the Zeno once were. "Who knows? They could be anywhere in existence," Grand Priest said. "Well, I think it's time to recognize your appointment as the new king of everything," Grand Priest said, taking out a kind of stick, something similar to what the angels used. Grand Priest using the stick would give a slight blow to the ground, appearing in this way a kind of hologram in which you could see the 12 universes. "Well, I think it's time to start," Grand Priest said, giving a smile. "To all the angels and gods of destruction, this is a message of great importance, so I kindly ask you to see and listen carefully what I will say next." Meanwhile, in the 12 universes, the angels would be transmitting live the message that the Great Priest was giving, which being a message of great importance, all the angels and gods of destruction would be very attentive to the message of Grand Priest, which was doing a live transmission to all the gods and angels of all the universes. I repeat, this is a message of great importance, so I hope you listen carefully. I want to inform you that Zeno decided to give his position as king of everything to another person, so they will have to respect and obey 100% to the new king of everything, as they have done so far. Let me introduce you to the successor and new king of everything, Grand Priest said, showing Goku in the transmission, which would leave more than Boki open to all the angels and gods of destruction, more than all to Beerus, who would be in shock after the news. The Saiyan's Son Goku of Universe 7 from now on will be the new and authentic king of everything. He will be the one who governs over all things from now on. So I hope you respect and obey Son Goku to the maximum, the new king of all, Grand Priest said, with a strange smile on his face to say later, "That was all. End of transmission," Grand Priest said, ending with his multiversal message. Well, his appointment as new king of everything was already made public. Now all the universes know that you are the new king of everything who will govern over all of us, so my best wishes for you. Tell me, what are you going to do now, Son Goku? I mean, what are you going to do now, king of all? Palace of the new king of all. Son Goku was sitting on the throne of Zeno, thinking carefully about what he will do from now on that he has such a great responsibility. About an hour ago, his appointment as new king of all was made publicly, which would leave Goku a little worried due to the seriousness of things. So after thinking for a long time, he would finally get out of his thoughts, looking at Grand Priest who was standing in front of him, to later tell him, "Hey, Grand Priest, could you tell me the things I could do now that I am the new king of all? I mean, skills or some kind of power like that." Grand Priest would smile and he looked at Goku Paradex to answer him. "If power is what you mean, let me tell you that his power is still the same as when he arrived at this palace. That is, his power has not increased at all. But that does not mean that he does not have skills. Powerful tools, to be more precise. As you can see, next to him is a kind of three-dimensional box. Not to go into details, I will only tell you the primordial, that three-dimensional box. It was something that Zeno himself created and left him so that he could do his job properly. I will explain what it is about. That box is a multiversal key amplifier. That is, it is something that amplifies your key in a surprising way. But let me tell you one thing. Once you remove your hand from the box, you will lose that power. In addition to the action it performs, it will lose a lot of ki. So it's like a double-edged sword. This box is not designed to increase your ki and thus be able to fight. No, that does not work. What it does is that when you put your hand in the box, your ki increases too much. What you can do is concentrate too much and perform an action with that power. That is, if you want to destroy a planet, you just have to concentrate and think what planet, what universe. The same works with people and with everything. It also works the other way around. It can create a planet, an object, or a living being. You just have to concentrate and specify what you want to do. But as I mentioned, The bigger or more work the action costs, the more ki it will consume. So if you try to perform an action that exceeds your own power, you will die. Grand Priest would answer with a big smile on his face, ending by explaining the operation of the three-dimensional box with which Goku now had as the new king of everything. Now tell me, what are you planning to do now, King of Everything? Grand Priest would ask with a big smile on his face. Vermouth would be lying in what seems to be a kind of giant bed, this while enjoying eating a large variety of fruits. I was really surprised that Zeno left his position to another person. The most surprising thing is that it is a simple mortal. I would like to know what kind of person it is. Depending on what person it is, it could take a lot of advantage of the situation. I have to meet him as soon as possible. That subject could be my new letter of triumph. I said Vermouth, giving a big bite to a juicy and reddish apple, showing a small smile on his face. No, 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 impossible, unacceptable, unheard of. Never, I will never accept that a damned mortal governs me and be the new king of everything. There must be a mistake. Something must have been done to stay in charge. It is impossible for the king of everything to easily deliver his position. The worst of all is that he comes from the same universe as that damned weak-willed. I will never accept that that ignorant governs me. I would prefer death. I will do something about it. I will not stay with my arms crossed. These are the words that the god of destruction Kitela said with a lot of anger and irritation for the situation. Palace of the king of everything. I really don't know what I have to do, but I will make my best effort, I said, Goku squeezing his fist with motivation, and then look at Grand Priest, telling him, "Hey, Grand Priest, could you do me a favor?" Goku would ask with a small smile. "Come on. You don't have to say those words. You are the king of everything. You don't need to ask me for a favor. You just have to order things, and that is how it will be," Grand Priest said, answering the Saiyans friendly. Where, after hearing these words, Goku would be a little surprised. "Haha, I'm sorry. I'm not used to giving orders. Remember that I became the king of everything just an hour ago," Goku said, something nervous, to say later, "Grand Priest, could you go to Earth and tell everyone about the situation? That is, tell them what happened and that he will probably not return to Earth for a few days. You are very helpful if you do," Goku said, scratching the back of his head. Grand Priest would close his eyes, accepting in that way the order of the Saiyans Goku. So Grand Priest would disappear from the palace of the King of Everything, going to Earth to inform the friends of Goku what happened, to which Goku would be completely alone in the palace of the King of Everything. Wow, I've been alone in this place. Wait a minute. That I remember, Zeno had 2 species of warriors who were always by his side. Where will it be? Goku would ask, a little doubtful. Well, now what is it? Goku would ask, walking in circles around the place, until a kind of stick that was next to his throne would start to tickle and emit a sound, which would call Goku's attention. Approaching that stick, something happens, because this stick from one moment to another began to do strange things. Goku would grab the stick, and a kind of hologram would form, wherein said hologram you would see what appeared to be the god of destruction of Universe 11. It was Vermouth, who had a little smile. But what is happening? Who is that guy? He would ask, with a coup of nerves after not knowing what was happening. There must be something surprising, Mr. King of Everything. But do not be alarmed. I am one of the gods of destruction of which you rule now. I am Vermouth. I come from Universe 11. He said this in a peaceful and calm way. Currently, I am on the outskirts of your palace, King of Everything, so I was wondering if you would be so kind to let me pass. I would like to talk about some things with you, Vermouth said, smiling. Ah, I understand. Of course, you can pass, Goku said, answering with a bit of nerves, but after said words, a silence of a few seconds would be formed, which would be something uncomfortable for Goku, and he said, "Ist that you were not going to enter?" Goku would ask, confused. "If you do not open the door of your palace, I will not be able to enter and go where you are, King of Everything. You have to open the door for me to pass," Vermouth said, with a drop of sweat running through his head. "Seriously? But I don't know how to open that door." "Wait, I have an idea," Goku said, approaching the three-dimensional box, putting his hand on it. Goku would concentrate for a few seconds, and he would open the door using the three-dimensional box. But at the time of withdrawing his hand, Goku would fall quite exhausted to the ground, which would leave him more than surprised. Goku would begin to bleed from the nose, and this would begin to look a bit blurry. "My body feels very bad." So this was what Grand Priest said about exhausting my ki. It was very careless. I thought it was an ordinary door, but now I see that it is not like that. I should have transformed at least in Super Saiyan. This really exhausted me. I wonder what is he doing there, lying on the ground, King of Everything? Although apparently he is in a fatal state. "Please, let me help you," Vermouth said, looking at Margarita, who was next to him. To which she would approach Goku and he would be able to replenish the lost energy of the Saiyans, making him stand up and be somewhat surprised, but then he would put a smile on his face, thanking Margarita. "Thank you very much. Really, not that it would have happened to me if they did not help me. But who is she?" Goku said, looking at Margarita, something confused. She is my angel, King of Everything. And this other person next to me is the Supreme Kai of my universe. It is thanks to him that we were able to get to his palace so quickly." "I see. In that case, it is a pleasure to meet you." "My name is Son Goku," Goku said with a big smile on his face. To which Vermouth would smile a little, saying, "It is a pleasure to meet you, King of Everything. As I mentioned before, I am the god Vermouth, and the reason of my visit is that I would like to talk about some things with you." "Would you like to talk some things with me? But what kind of things do you want to talk about?" I would ask Vermouth, looking at Vermouth. "Well, I would like to discuss some issues about my universe with you and about your new reign in general. I would also like to give you a few warnings, King of Everything," said Vermouth, looking seriously at Goku. "A few warnings? What kind of warnings do you want to give me, Vermouth?" I would ask Goku, getting serious like the god of destruction of Universe 11. So seriously, Vermouth looked at Goku, saying, "Your life is in total danger, King of Everything. Rather, you are about to be killed." "What? I'm about to be killed? But what are you saying, Vermouth?" I would ask Goku, something surprised by the words of the god of destruction of Universe 11. "As I hear it, it will clearly not be killed by me, but I mean a third. Possibly some gods are very disagreeing with what is happening, and it is certainly understandable. Remember that Zeno reigned from the beginning of everything, and we were governed by him for millennia and millennia. So a simple mortal from one day to another comes and becomes the new king of everything is something that would bother anyone. In case you do not know, there are some gods who were very loyal and servile with Zeno, so the blood must be boiling in these moments. In addition, some gods could try to take advantage of you in one way or another. Right now, you are the leader of all to reach the top or something like that. Most likely, some gods are preparing their plans to carry out their commitments. That's why I want to warn you. It gave me a little pity, so I came to inform you," I said Vermouth, with a little smile on his face. "Wow, are you serious? I did not think this would cause so much ruckus among the gods. Well, I wonder what it is that I know from now on, although the idea that I can face all the gods pleases me a little," I said, Goku something thoughtful. But this one would later look at Vermouth, saying to him, I thank you very much for the warning. From now on, I will be more careful with what I do, I said Goku with a smile. Wait, remember that I told you that I also wanted to discuss some issues of my universe, but believe me, it can also benefit you, I said Vermouth. And what is that would benefit us both? Goku would ask, something confused, to which Vermouth would calmly answer Goku, well, as you know, the job of a destructive god is to destroy planets at least every so often. To tell the truth, a few years ago I took my work seriously, so the rate of life and planets in my universe is now somewhat low. Even so, the planets and living beings have evolved decently, I said. As you know, the job of the Supreme Kais is to create life and everything else. But what they do is create a planet and its genetic compositions from zero to a certain part. So the evolution of said species depends on the planet and how they manage to evolve said genes, or in which they end up forming. But for that, I would have to wait millions of years, and it is really boring to wait so long. So I have a deal with you, King of Everything. As you know, I have been a destructive god for millennia, so I have experience in how to lead and treat people, without ignoring the fact that I know the other gods very well. So it occurred to me that maybe I could become your assistant, or Zero, or whatever you want to call it. I will give you advice and provide adequate information so that your work arrives correctly. But in return, you will have to accelerate the evolution of my planets with your species. Accelerate your time. I don't know, maybe about 10,000 years would be fine. I should do this at least with about 10 planets with their respective races and species. As you can see, it is not something that will harm you or anything like that. I just want my universe to have more life and planets to visit to entertain me, I said, Vermouth, looking at Saiyan Goku, which, after thinking about it a little, would smile a little and then raise his hand a little towards Vermouth, with the intention of tightening his hand to have reached an agreement. So Vermouth would smile a little like Goku and he would tighten his hand. The alliance between Vermouth and Goku has formed. Meanwhile, on Earth, Tai Shinkan would have just arrived on Earth, and this would have caused Vegeta and the others to meet. Tai Shinkan would tell them that the information he was about to give them was of great importance, so Vegeta and the others would listen carefully to what the great priest was about to tell them. Today, a great event happened that will change things in all universes and everywhere. I have to inform you that Zeno, who was the king of everything, has left his position and passed it on to someone else, I said Tai Shinkan with a calm smile while looking at his spectators, to which Vegeta and Piccolo would put a face of total seriousness, while a drop of sweat would run through their temples. This does not look good at all. If it weren't something that involved us all so much, I would not have come here directly. In that case, he came to inform us personally because it is something that can involve us, Piccolo thought carefully, and his assumptions were correct. After a few seconds, Tai Shinkan would speak again, this time with a big smile on his face. Well, let me inform you that now Son Goku has become the new king of everything. So now Son Goku is the most important person and who will rule all the universes. After saying those words, those present would be surprised as never before. Vegeta, Gohan, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Piccolo, Krillin, and everyone else would be quite surprised after the news. It was something they would never have expected. In turn, a bad feeling would cross their minds. Goku is now the new king of everything. But what is happening? No, this cannot be possible. Goku has no knowledge of governing even a little, much less govern all the universes, I said, worried, Chi-Chi. But this would be stopped by a pretty serious Vegeta. Listen, Chi-Chi, it will be better if you take care of your words. Remember that this subject is still one of the most important. It is also very likely that this subject is aware of Kakarot's abilities to govern or think about these things. It is impossible for him to trust the position of king of all to a mortal with Kakarot's intelligence level. There must be some reason behind all this, a reason that may be a good one, but it can also be for a very bad reason, I said, Vegeta looking seriously at Grand Priest, which after hearing these last words from Vegeta, a smile would paint on his face. But then Grand Priest would leave that smile for a calmer and more passive, saying, "Well, I don't want to overwhelm you with details, but the new King of All has asked me to inform you that he may not return until a few days later. With nothing more to add, I say goodbye. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you good luck," Grand Priest said, saying goodbye, with a doubtful smile on his face, leaving the planet Earth, which would still leave those present there quite surprised as disconcerted by the situation that was happening. Vegeta would stare at the sky for a few moments, saying, "What is happening, Kakarot? I know very well that this was not your idea or something that you have planned, and I know very well that I would not give you the position of King of All as well. Possibly someone must be moving the strings behind all this. I feel that very bad things are about to happen in all universes. Also, if I think about it a little more, the consequences that this can bring are quite bad and diverse." Vegeta would be immersed in his thoughts, but Piccolo would put himself next to him, which would make Vegeta pay attention to the Namekian. "What do you want, Piccolo?" Vegeta said. "I guess you've already noticed, but very bad things are about to happen. Possibly later our participation will be of help to Goku in some things, so I think we need to prepare ourselves in case something happens," Piccolo said seriously. "Damn, so you also came to the same conclusion. I guess we really need to prepare ourselves for anything that can happen," Vegeta said in allusion to Piccolo's words, where later Vegeta would return and be in a loud voice said, "Listen, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, very bad things are about to happen, so I don't care what you have planned to do. Right now, we need to prepare ourselves in case something bad happens. The battles of our lives are about to come." Meanwhile, Quitella was on the planet of her respective Supreme Kai, which was about to leave for the palace of the King of Everything. Quitella was consumed with hatred and was thirsty for blood. Quitella is about to go to the palace of the King of Everything to assassinate Goku. On the other hand, somewhere in some universe, the god of destruction, Sidra, was traveling with his guardian angel apparently to Earth. Apart from the fact that he did not see alone, apparently he came with a few subjects who were traveling to Earth, who knows why. Apparently, all the gods have started to move. The fights that are coming are about to begin. No, calling the fights would be little. The multiversal wars are about to begin. Palace of the King of Everything. Goku would be training on his own in the Palace of the King of Everything. Also, Vermouth would have just left a few minutes ago, so Goku would be free and would be willing to train on his own. Wow, it will really be complicated to rule the 12 universes. Although Vermouth is going to help me, it seems like a great idea. After all, they have more experience than me. Well, I wonder what he would do from now on, Goku would ask with a smile in a calm way. "Oh, you don't have to worry about that anymore," said a voice that Goku would not recognize, so he would proceed quickly to turn around to look at the owner of that voice. But just when he turns around, something would go through Goku's chest, drilling Goku's chest seriously. To which Goku would be more than surprised, and he would put his gaze on the person responsible for that attack, seeing that it was the god Quitella, which had a smile of satisfaction on his face, which said, "You should learn to keep the doors closed, King of Everything," Quitella said, drilling even more the chest of the Saiyans, which would spit blood. Goku would transform into Super Saiyan's Blue, and this, with all his strength, would give a strong kick in the stomach to the destructive god, making the hand of Ktela, who was drilling Goku's chest, stop drilling it. But by doing so, the wound would be exposed, leaving a hole in the place where Goku was pierced, which would start to bleed quickly, making the Saiyans spit a little blood again. Goku would start to shake little by little, and he would put his hand on the wound, trying to cover it. Ktela, who had come out shot after Goku's kick, would stand up, and he would have his hand on his stomach to say, "Wow, that kick, I must say it hurt. I congratulate you for that. For that only and last blow you will have given me," Ktela said with a smile on his face. "Your time has come, you are Goku." Goku, with the wound that would have caused Ktela, would be seeing him with anger and quite seriously. "Hey, you! I don't know who you are, but you are probably a god of destruction by the way you dress. Listen, I don't have time to lose by giving you an explanation, inferior being. I'll just tell you that the one you have re-hunted, the great Zeno, made my blood boil. A mortal like you has no right to rule over me. You deserve death," Ktela said, with a look full of contempt and anger towards Goku. So what Vermouth told me was true. They would try to kill me. Not all gods will accept that a mortal like me replaces Zen-chan. From what I see, now the only option I have is fight," Goku said, taking a seed from the hermitage of his clothes. Eating, recovering in an instant from the attack of Ktela, which would surprise the god of destruction, of course. "I didn't think you would have a medicine for that. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll kill you anyway, damn trash," I'd say Ktela, getting ready to go attack Saiyans. As much as it's hard for me to admit it, beating him is not something I can do with my current powers. I have to find a way to prevent him from killing me. But what? What do I know? I'd say Goku, transforming in Super Saiyan's Blue, getting ready to fight Ktela. Well, in that case, I'll fight using my maximum power. I'd say Goku, concentrating for a few moments. Goku would transform into Super Saiyan's Blue at 100%, which would surprise Ktela a little. But this one would give me a little smile, saying, "Bah, well, I was expecting something like that. If you were chosen as the new king of everything, at least you should have that power. You have a decent power. I congratulate you. But so far you have reached human decay," I'd say Ktela with great anger, going to attack Goku quickly. Ktela would hit Goku hard in the face, which would receive it fully, but this one would recover quickly, giving a strong kick to Ktela, which would stop her with her other arm, giving Goku a smile. "That's all, human?" I'd say Ktela, hitting Goku's leg, breaking it to Saiyans, which would scream in pain after this. Goku would hit Ktela in the face with his other leg, so later Goku would get away from the destructive god. Goku would hold his broken leg for a few moments, trying to appease the pain that this generated. Damn, with just one hit I managed to break a leg. As I thought, this is not something that should be taken lightly. Ktela would quickly attack Goku again, but just before Ktela could hit Goku, Goku would teleport, disappearing from the place where Ktela was. Ktela would quickly turn around to see the place where Goku was, which would leave him somewhat surprised and at the same time scared by the scene he was seeing. "You, damn human," I'd say Ktela, looking at the scene in front of his eyes. Goku would be behind the Supreme Kai, god of destruction, pointing at his head with a burst of energy. "Listen to me. You'd better calm down if you don't want me to shoot this burst of my power at your Supreme Kai. I remind you that if he dies, you will also die." Goku said with a serious look at Tthe, but inside, Goku would be lamenting and getting angry with himself for the act so cowardly and grotesque that he was doing. On the outside, Goku gave the impression that he was capable of killing the Supreme Kai, but only he knew that he would never dare to do it. So, the only option left for Goku was to deceive Tthe. Tthe would try to go where Goku was, but at the moment of taking a single step, Goku would interrupt him, saying, "Don't even think about taking one more step or you'll die," Goku said seriously and with a drop of sweat on his face. "Damn coward, how dare you threaten me?" Tthe said with her eyes full of anger and hatred towards Goku. "I already told you. You'd better calm down, God of Destruction. I don't know what ideas you have about me, but I didn't do anything to take away the position of Zeno. I just came to visit him, and he laughed at me completely. I'm also very confused about it. Listen, I have no intention of doing anything to you. I'll just try to rule as best I can. On the contrary, my friends," Goku said, clenching his teeth with impotence, and then look at Tthe again with a serious look. "Because not only do we get along well and forget that this ever happened," Goku said a little calmer. After listening to Goku's words, Tthe would start laughing like crazy and then look smiling at Goku, saying, "Do you think I didn't notice something like that, you idiot? I know that a mortal, and much less a human, could never take away the position of Zeno, unless I know why I want it myself. I already deduced that. It's simple. What I hate and makes my blood boil is the fact that a being like you governs me. Replace Zeno. Never in my life I would accept to live with a ruler like you." "That's why I would prefer death," Tthe said, going quickly to attack Goku, without fear that Goku would assassinate his Supreme Kai. Goku, after seeing this action, would get a little surprised and nervous, since he would never have expected Tthe to attack him in such circumstances. As it was obvious, Goku, despite that Tthe was coming to attack him, he didn't use his card of triumph to assassinate the Supreme Kai. After all, it's something that never really crossed Goku's mind. He had no intention of assassinating the Supreme Kai. So Goku would go to the Supreme Kai, preparing for Ktella's attack. Tthe would give Goku a strong blow to the stomach, which would make him spit blood. Tthe would give him a strong blow to the head of Goku, stamping him against the ground. Those two blows had been critical for Goku, since with only those two blows, he had caused great damage to Goku. Goku would stand up quickly, and this would throw a burst of energy at Tthe, and he would try to give him a strong blow, but Tthe would stop them, to then grab Goku's arm, twisting it in the act, breaking that way the left arm to Goku. Goku would endure the pain of this, and even with his broken and injured arm, Goku would take advantage of the approach between Tthe and his broken arm, generating a burst of energy, impacting it on the face of the God of Destruction. Goku would back down a bit, and this with his right arm would do a Kamehameha, throwing it to an unprepared Tthe. Tthe would receive it fully, and after dissipating the smoke, he would notice a small scratch on his body. "Wow, you managed to scratch me. Good for you, human," said Tthe, disappearing from Goku's view, reappearing right in front of him. Tthe would charge a powerful blow and would be about to hit Goku's face, being that way a few centimeters away from impacting said attack on Saiyans. "Damn, I'm sorry, Hit. I think I'll take your technique. Jump in time," would scream to Goku, thus stopping time by 0.001 second, managing to dodge in that way the blow of Tthe with great difficulty. Goku would give a strong headbutt to Tthe, but this did not seem to be very effective. But still, Goku would throw a burst of energy through his mouth, impacting Tthe. Tthe would grab Goku's face and stamp it with great force on the ground, creating in that way several cracks in the place. Tthe would give Goku a strong kick in the ribs, breaking them in the act. Goku would come out shot, crashing against several columns that were in place. Goku would spit a lot of blood, and he would lose the blue Super Saiyans, becoming the normal Super Saiyan's god. Damn, I must do something soon or that guy. Before Goku could finish talking, a ray of energy would pierce his chest, piercing a lung. Then another ray of energy would impact, this time in Goku's abdomen. Goku would scream in pain, and then Tthe would appear in front of Goku, giving him a strong kick in the head. Goku would return to his base state, and he would be seriously injured, and this with great difficulty would be able to stand up looking at Tthe. "So far you have come, human," Tthe said, about to throw a burst of Goku's energy. But before he could do it, someone behind Tthe said, "So far you have come, damned, disgusting rat." Beerus would have reached the battlefield, and he would be pointing his hand at Tthe, saying, "Your time has come, Tthe." Beerus would be pointing his hand at Tthe, which in turn would be about to assassinate the Saiyan's Goku. Tthe, after discovering the presence of Beerus in the place, he would put a pretty serious and irritated face. "What the hell do you want, Beerus?" Tthe would ask, lowering his arm and stopping pointing at Goku. Tthe would put face to face against Beerus, and they looked at each other seriously for a few seconds. "Listen, I know you're very angry about what happened, but believe me, if you kill this guy, things will be even worse," Beerus said. "What else can go wrong, Beerus? You're telling me you don't mind the fact that a guy like him governs us? Don't you have pride? Weren't you loyal to the great Zeno? Why do you defend him, damned cat?" Tthe said angrily. "I already told you, killing him wouldn't solve anything. On the contrary, it would only make things worse. It bothers me too, but it was Zeno's decision. His reasons must have," Beerus said, a little calmer. "Possibly the great priest will not be long to arrive, so I don't think he will allow Goku to be killed in this place and in his presence, so I would recommend that you go, damned rat." Tthe would squeeze her teeth in anger and irritation, and after thinking what Beerus said, she thought things a little more. She had realized that she had already lost a lot of time, and that the great priest could arrive at any moment, so his opportunity to kill him had already passed. "Well, I'll go, but listen to me, human. You only lengthened your life a little time. Soon you will be living the fight of your life. You can't protect yourself in this place forever, believe me. The pieces started to move a while ago." I said Tthe, leaving the palace of the King of Everything, along with his Supreme Kai and Angel, leaving alone that form of Goku, Beerus, Whis, and the Supreme Kai. Beerus would approach a pretty wounded Goku lying on the ground, and he would put his hand on Goku's back, surprising him a little. "You have several broken bones, and several organs of yours are serious. Hey Whis," I said Beerus, taking his hand off Goku's back, giving a signal to Whis, which he would immediately capture. "I understand, Mr. Beerus," I said Whis, pointing his staff at Goku, making him recover completely. Goku would stand up, and he would thank Whis and Beerus. "Thank you very much for saving me, Mr. Beerus, Whis, and you too, Supreme Kai. I don't know what the hell you did, but believe me, the situation in which we are now is too critical." "I have not understood it very well at all, but I know what you are talking about. Possibly that subject will return and with reinforcements," I said Goku. That's right, not any reinforcement. Possibly that subject will recluse other gods of destruction who hate you and hate me too. We must prepare for the war that is coming, I said Beerus seriously. Wait, Mr. Beerus, what did Tthe mean by the next time I won't be able to protect myself in this place? What do you mean by that? I said Goku. As you hear it, he will possibly have planned to attack the Earth, so that way you go and leave this palace and the great priest cannot protect you. That's what that subject will possibly do, I said Beerus seriously. Well, Goku, it's time to go to Earth. We will have to prepare as quickly as possible, I said Beerus, approached Supreme Kai, and after a few seconds the great priest would reach the palace of the king of everything, and Goku would tell him the situation, but the great priest would simply smile, saying that he was not going to interfere with those matters, and that it would be good for him to solve it himself. Something that would leave those present quite surprised, but after a few minutes this would be teleported to Earth with the help of Supreme Kai. After reaching the Earth, Goku could not feel the ki of Gohan and Vegeta, so he would realize that both were in the room of time. Supreme Kai would return to his planet, and Goku, Beerus, and Whis would teleport to the palace of Dende, encountering Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks. Goku would tell them the situation of what had happened and what was to come, and Piccolo would tell them that they felt that this could happen, so they decided to train in the room of time, and that both Gohan and Vegeta had entered about an hour ago. I'm sorry, Piccolo, but after Gohan and Vegeta leave the room of time, could you please let us enter Mr. Beerus and me? He would ask with a small smile on his face. Ha, of course, it would be more useful for you two to train, so it seems a reasonable idea, Piccolo would answer with a smile on his face. Thank you, Piccolo, but beware, you will not be left without training, or at least not at all. Whis will not enter the room of time, so he can train them. As you never trained with Whis, possibly you will learn too much from him and his powers may increase in a short time, I said calmly. I think it's a good idea, I said to Beerus. Whis, take care of training these three subjects as best as possible. I want you to train them as best as possible, I said to Beerus. A full day would pass, so Vegeta and Gohan would finally leave the room of time, surprised after seeing Goku and the others in that place, but they would understand more or less what was happening. The others would be surprised by the incredible power that Vegeta and Gohan now had, so Goku would be quite surprised, since Gohan would have a gigantic power, and possibly that is not all his power, so he would feel proud. Goku would warn Vegeta and Gohan, understanding this is the situation, so after a few minutes, Goku and Beerus would enter the room of time, while Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks, and now Vegeta and Gohan would train with Whis. But after a few hours, the god Sidra would make his appearance in the palace of Dende, surprising the present there. Well, until finally Saiyans and Beerus entered the room of time. Sidra would have arrived with a few more subjects to the place, but that would only make Vegeta laugh, which said, "Ha ha, don't tell me you brought reinforcements. A god of destruction brought reinforcements. Don't make me laugh. That means you're so weak you need reinforcements. Wait. Don't tell me you're the weakest god of destruction of all. How pathetic," Vegeta said. Listen, god of destruction, are you sure you want this? Do you really want to start a war? Gohan would seriously ask. You don't have to do this. Think things over. This is a meaningless fight, Gohan said. Don't make me laugh, Sidra said, increasing his power, preparing to fight like your reinforcements. Listen, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, you take care of those soldiers he brought. Gohan and I will take care of that god of destruction. Vegeta, who was a proud subject, would leave his pride of fighting only to one side, since he knew the seriousness of things. He couldn't take it hard and fight only against Sidra. Vegeta would transform into Super Saiyan Blue full power, and Gohan would increase his power to the maximum, leaving more than surprised those present there. Since even without having the Super Saiyan Blue God, Gohan had a power almost similar to Goku's the first time he fought against Beerus in Super Saiyan God. "Are you ready, Gohan?" Vegeta would ask, putting himself in a fighting position. "Of course, Vegeta. Let's show him the result of our training," Gohan said, putting himself in a fighting position like Vegeta. To fight, it would be the words that both said, going quickly to attack Sidra. Vegeta and Gohan would be exchanging blows and kicks with Sidra, which was having too many complications when fighting with both at the same time. After all, Vegeta and Gohan would have increased their powers in a bestial way. So the advantage would be having the two Saiyans against the god of the weakest destruction of all. Wow, this is disappointing, the truth. Apparently this guy is the weakest god of all. Even fighting alone, I could complicate things for that guy. Well, it's not time to waste time, Gohan. Let's attack with everything and defeat that guy once and for all, Vegeta said, with a smile on his face. Vegeta and Gohan would attack with all their power. Looking at these two superiors to Sidra, who was receiving the blows of both, Sidra would try to kill them using the Hakai, but both Vegeta and Gohan would dodge it. "With that, you can never defeat us," Gohan said, hitting Sidra in the stomach. Vegeta would give Sidra a strong knee in the face, sending him to fly away. "Well, that guy gave us a lot of complications. If I fought alone against him, I would possibly have a chance to win, but I have already put myself to the level of those gods. The weakest god is nothing," Vegeta said, carrying a powerful Gallic gun, and Gohan a powerful Kamehameha. Sidra, seeing these actions, he would also charge an attack with his maximum power, where after a few seconds the three would launch their respective attacks, generating in that way a great shock of powers, which would make the earth tremble. And not only that, that attack would clear the sky and would be creating several expansive waves all over the place, causing the rocks and mountains to rise in that way, starting to float around the place. Damn, I'm really going to lose against those two subjects? It can't be, Sidra said. For later, Vegeta and Gohan hit a loud scream, increasing his attack power, winning him in the shock of powers to Sidra, generating in this way a great and powerful explosion in the place, where after dissipating, the smoke would be a Sidra which would have white eyes in sign of being unconscious, where after a few seconds, this would begin to fall but would be caught by Gohan. Gohan would take Sidra to the sacred temple, and this would lay him on the ground. Sidra would be seriously injured, possibly on the brink of death. One more attack and it would be to end the life of the god of destruction. Meanwhile, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks would have finished defeating the soldiers of Sidra. Dende would heal the Z-Warriors, fully recovering after the fight. Vegeta would notice the guardian angel of Sidra, and he would scream for him to come to the place where they were. "Hey you, angel, take your pathetic god, tell him not even to think about reappearing here," Vegeta said, with a serious face and anger. "When you go in the middle of the road, you can give him this to recover," Gohan said, throwing a seed of the hermit to the angel, which he would catch. The angel would smile a little and he would take Sidra and his soldiers with him, leaving the earth deformed. Dad, you are amazing! You and Gohan took care of a god of destruction alone. You are incredibly strong. Ha ha ha! You are invincible now, Trunks said, quite excited by the power that Gohan and his father now had. Don't get so excited. Remember that I had to team up with Gohan, and also that god was the weakest of all. From what I saw, I was just a little stronger than that god. Even so, the others must be even stronger. A full day would pass from that, in which Vegeta and the others would spend training with Whis. And by completing the 24 hours, Goku and Whis would leave the Room of Time with immense power. "Apparently, your training was a success, Mr. Whis, Goku," Whis said with a smile. "Of course, because what did you expect? Listen, Whis, our powers are increasing in a quite large way. This war, we can win it," Whis said, smiling. After 2 hours, Goku and the others would feel a giant key approaching the Earth, which would realize that this key belonged to Iwan. Apparently, Kitela completed and brought more gods of destruction. Apparently, the only gods that did not join Kitela are Vermood, Sidra, Champa, and the god Robot. Those would be the only gods that did not join Kitela. Kitela and Whis would exchange a few dialogues, where in turn, Goku said to Kitela, "Are you sure you want this war? Do you really want to start a war?" Goku said, looking at Kitela. Kitela would only smile, saying, "I think you already know the answer," Kitela said, increasing his power, preparing to fight like the other gods of destruction. Goku and the others would do the same. Goku and Vegeta would transform into Super Saiyan Blue to maximum power, while Gohan would take his power to the maximum. Everyone would be ready to fight, so after a few seconds, everyone would go to attack. Beerus would start fighting against the god Kitela and the Elephant God. Goku would start fighting against the Toro God and the Goddess of Love, Jerez. Vegeta would start fighting against the Hairy God of Universe 1 and the God K of Fish of Universe 1. While Gohan would face the wrinkled God of Universe 5. It would be a brutal fight. The Earth would start to tremble due to the immense power that there was. Expansive waves would start to create from the attacks of everyone. Mountains would start to float. Volcanoes would activate. The Earth seemed to be at the end of the world. Everyone would be exchanging attacks. They hit and were hit. They launched energy attacks. The Z-Warriors would be losing when they were in great disadvantage. Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta in numerical disadvantage, and Gohan in lack of power. Even so, they would continue to fight with everything they had. Kitela would start to bite Beerus since they were beating him. For each blow that Beerus gave to Kitela and the God Elephant, they gave Beerus 5 blows. Beerus would throw them energy bursts, which Kitela and the God Elephant would deflect and they would attack Beerus. Beerus would give a strong blow to Kitela in the stomach, but the God Elephant would give Beerus a knee kick away from Kitela. Even so, Beerus would throw them an energy burst which would impact both. Meanwhile, Goku would be being beaten even more than Beerus by the god Toro and Jerez, which were appropriating a big beating to Saiyans. Wow, your fighting style has no beauty. It shows that you deceived the great Zeno Esma and you took his place. I will never forgive such an impure act, Jerez said, throwing Goku an energy arrow which he would receive it fully. Do it, they are being defeated. It is only a matter of time for them to fall defeated, the God Fox said, giving Goku a strong blow, making him retreat a little. We did not want to have to do this. We just wanted to live peacefully. But you selfishly came to attack us. That is why it is my duty to protect the Earth and my universe. I will not let them beat us. Hey, Beerus, it's time to fight seriously. Goku would scream seriously, but at the same time with a smile on his face. Wow, until you finally decided to fight seriously, Goku. Well, I agree. It's time to end this absurd war. Goku would return to his base state and he would close his eyes, where after opening his eyes and hair would turn silver. Jerez and the God Fox would be more than surprised, and without realizing it, Goku already had his fist stuck in the stomach of Andals, making them spit blood. Beerus would do the same. Both Goku and Beerus would use the perfected Ultra Instinct, surprising everyone there for the incredible power and skills that they had now. Impossible! Impossible! When was it that you perfected that technique, and why a simple human is also using it? Said Tthe, desperate and angry. But before he could continue talking, Beerus would have given Tthe 100 kicks, and there would be economism with the elephant god. Things would start to change for Goku and Beerus, which were being given a beating to their respective opponents, where in turn Goku and Beerus helped from time to time Vegeta and Gohan, which were having certain complications and were almost losing in their fights. You fighting for selfishness, for not accepting changes, for believing themselves superior to others. Instead of supporting me and helping me in my new position, you wanted to eliminate me, some to keep my position and others for their own satisfaction, Goku said, angry. I will not allow you to destroy my planet and my friends, Goku said, using all his power, starting to give several consecutive blows to his two opponents without giving them a chance to breathe or even be able to process said attacks. Let's end this, Goku said, preparing a powerful Kamehameha. Disappearing from everyone's sight, reappearing behind his two opponents, throwing them the powerful Kamehameha. Beerus would do the same, and it is with his maximum power to propel some attacks to the two gods, breaking even several bones in the process. Finally, Beerus would load his fists with all his concentrated power, all his power in said fists, propelling them a strong blow in the stomach of both gods, leaving them out of combat. The gods who were fighting against Vegeta and Gohan, after seeing the ease with which Goku and Beerus defeated their companions, these would have no choice but to surrender, since they had to keep fighting and the same result was expected. So after this, Goku and the others would gather all the gods, which most were more than seriously injured, while some only had a few wounds after surrendering. Tthe would have her eyes full of hatred, and he looked at Goku saying, I will not beg you, I will never leave you, so just do it once and for all. Kill us, Tthe said, with seriously injured hatred. I will not kill them. I already told you, I do not want to continue with this stupidity. This should not be the only solution, Goku said. There has to be something else after this. This cannot be everything. It cannot be. Don't be delusional. You think we will fix it and that we will walk and have fun? No, things don't work that way. I do not regret having done what I did. Just finish this once and for all, I said, Tthe, sharing the same thought as the other defeated gods. From one moment to another, the great priest I love us, they would appear in the place, and these would congratulate Goku. Goku, Goku, you passed the test. You passed, you passed. What? But what? What is happening? What are you doing here? I asked Goku, surprised, just like everyone there. It was all a test of the great Zeno. He wanted to see what gods should be replaced and which could continue with their positions. He wanted to prove what gods would accept changes, that what gods would care about their universes and would do nothing for selfishness, doing their job correctly. Those gods who made selfish acts and for their own benefit, without thinking of the consequences of their acts, they must be eliminated immediately. Zeno wanted to prove that love or selfishness reigned. Apparently in some love, but in others total selfishness. This said Grand Priest looking at the gods of destruction who faced Goku and the others. So those gods who started and supported this war, they will be immediately eliminated by Zeno. Wait, I know those gods did bad things that should not and caused problems, but they all deserve a second chance. Possibly they had a wrong idea of things. Please give them a second chance. We can have a future together. We can all start again. Goku said with a smile on his face. Grand Priest would smile, saying, "You passed the second test, Son Goku. Mercy, forgiveness. Well, thanks to the warrior Son Goku, the gods who started and supported this war will be forgiven and will have a second chance. I remind you that if Goku had not passed this second test, you would be eliminated. But apparently he passed all the tests," I said, Grand Priest. "I hope you think about what you did and this time do things as they should," I said, Grand Priest. Wait, this time? What do you mean by this time? I would ask Tthe and the others confused. Oh, have not you noticed? From now on, Goku will be officially the new king of everything. Of course, he will rule along with the two Zenos. But his position will be the same and of equal importance. So now, yes, they are officially in front of the new king of everything, I said, Grand Priest, with a smile. Goku would be quite surprised after this news, but this Detsu would go where Tthe and he would stretch his hand to him, saying, "Hey, Tthe, we had a lot of problems and I know you still do not completely change your mind, but you could accept this time the fact that now I am a new king of everything." I would ask Goku with a smile on his face. Tthe would give a little sigh and he said, "Anyway, you better do your job well," I said, Tthe, stretching Goku's hand to agree. "Ha! Goku would smile cheerfully and he said, "Well, I, the warrior Son Goku, a low-class Saiyans, will be in charge of being good king of everything." A year would pass since what happened to Goku and the gods of destruction. Goku would start to get along much better with all the deities, which little by little would go accepting Goku as king of everything. Goku would continue training without rest, this in order to become stronger and overcome their limits. So after that year, Goku would be able to master the Ultra Instinct very well. Goku regularly visited his family and friends on Earth, in addition to having some friendly fights with his greatest rival, Vegeta. 5 years later, Goku would have found his own version of the Ultra Instinct. He would no longer need transformations to be able to access the maximum power of the form, so Goku in his base state would already have all the power of his true Ultra Instinct. As the new king of everything, Goku's body would have stopped aging a long time ago. Goku would have stopped a conflict with a villain from Universe 11 who threatened to destroy the entire universe, so Goku had no choice but to intervene. 10 years later, everyone on Earth would continue to get older and older. There would be several characters whose hair would begin to turn pale as a sign of becoming dry and old. Vegeta, on the other hand, would have become the new god of destruction of Universe 7, so his body would also stop aging. 100 years later, the friends and family that once Goku and Vegeta would have met would no longer be there. Only the offspring of their offspring would be there, so both Goku and Vegeta would be quite sad after knowing this fact, knowing that all his friends and family have aged except for them. In the same way, everyone for many years would have already respected and feared Goku as the new ruler of all universes. In the same way, Goku would have created a new universe, Universe 13, creating it based on and similar to Universe 7. 1,000 years later, Goku would have reached and surpassed the level of the angels, in addition to the level of the Grand Priest himself, and would even have reached the same level as the Zeno Osamas themselves. So right now, he would be one of the most powerful beings in the entire multiverse. In addition, the Universe 13 that he would have created would finally be having a clear order like all the other universes. Said universe would begin to have its own god of destruction, god of creation, and other hierarchies. In the same way, the Supreme Kais would have begun their task of starting to create life in that universe. 100,000 years later, the Universe 13, already thousands of years ago, would have begun to have intelligent life and powerful races. The universe and galaxies would have expanded enormously, becoming, in that way, a successful and fruitful universe. Goku would have already surpassed the powers of the Zeno-Osamas, so right now, and without a doubt, he would be the god and the most powerful being in history. And in all those years, he would have had an infinity of adventures and an infinity of challenges. However, after thousands of years, Goku and Vegeta would meet again, this in order to have a friendly fight like in the old days. Goku and Vegeta looked at each other with great appreciation and pride to see how far they have come and everything they have achieved. Goku would have created an exclusive space to be able to fight with restriction and using his maximum powers without affecting the universes. Hey Vegeta, what do you think if we use the Super Saiyans to fight? You know, for the old times and for the transformation that started it all. Goku said with a big smile, looking at Vegeta. Ha! You read my mind, Kakarot, because that was just what I was going to tell you. Well, let's fight like Super Saiyans, Kakarot. Let's raise the pride of our race high, Vegeta said, passing to Super Saiyans. Goku would also turn into Super Saiyans, and both Goku and Vegeta would smile a little, and both would launch into attack. So that way, an incredible battle had begun, a battle of a rivalry that has no end and will be eternal. Goku and Vegeta would have taken pride in Saiyan's power to the maximum, so both knew they would enjoy the battle that had just begun, a rivalry that would never end.